The 100 star Marie Avgeropoulos. I always get this wrong, so I apologize, but Avgeropoulos, I think, charged with misdemeanor assault. So this one's getting a little bit into the more serious territory in terms of news. But I thought I definitely would cover it because I'm big fan of the 100 and a big fan of Marie Avgeropoulos as an actress. I never really knew much about her just as a person in general off the screen. And now there's a little bit more of a light shed on her with this news. So, anyways, we'll read it and then we'll discuss a little bit more. So, actress Marie Avgeropoulos, best known for her role on the CW's The 100, faces jail time after being arraigned on one charge of misdemeanor domestic violence on Monday. I'm gonna get it wrong every time. Oh my gosh. Avgeropoulos was arrested in Los Angeles last month after allegedly assaulting her boyfriend while on the freeway, hitting him in the neck, head, and arm, according to the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office. The boyfriend had minor injuries and contacted the police, according to the DA's office. The Greek Canadian. She's also from Ontario, Canada. So that's pretty cool. Because I'm also from there. So the Greek Canadian was charged with one count of injuring a spouse, cohabitant, boyfriend, or child's parent, according to a statement from the DA's office. If convicted, the 32-year-old actress faces up to 364 days in county jail, which is a year less a day, if you're familiar with the sentence names and all that, the terms. The case remains under investigation by the Glendale Police Department. So that is one thing I don't understand, though. And again, I'm not, totally familiar with, of course, the American court system and how all that works. But so it does say that the case remains under investigation by the police department, but she's already been arraigned on this charge of misdemeanor domestic violence. So, I'm not sure, what are they still investigating? Are they talking to her boyfriend maybe? And asking him, more and getting more, proof for that? I'm not exactly sure what that means. It would make sense that they're, investigating and building a case, against her, but, they're investigating the crime still? Or maybe not. Or, maybe that's not what they're doing. I don't know. Anyway, so that is what the article says. And, there's a lot of stuff we can talk about in terms of this. A lot of stuff, right? And there's a lot of stuff to unpack here. And so the original story for this, I think, was it was 2 weeks ago, I think, actually. It says here, in the last month, yeah. So this was actually, I think, 3 weeks ago, but this story is now talking about the arraignment. So she's actually been taken to court and arraigned now. So that's kind of the next big step in this whole procedure for Marie Avgeropoulos. So again, there's a lot of stuff to unpack here. I'm not sure if I want to go all the way in unpacking this just because of a lot of controversy and stuff like that. But there's a lot of stuff to talk about here. So first, I think that she always has kind of had, again, I wasn't really familiar with her off-screen character as a person. And I don't mean character in a TV show. I mean character, a person's character, right? I wasn't too familiar with her character, but as this story came out, I've seen a few things on Reddit and Twitter and all that stuff, kind of talking about a little bit of her history and how she's not always been, the perfect kind of role model. Maybe you could say it like that. And so now, but she's never, been charged for domestic violence or anything like that. So this is, big, for her. And then there's, always that conflict where something happens to a person off the screen and you're kind of conflicted because you love that person, or in this case, you love Marie on screen as how am I forgetting her name right now? Wow. What is happening? Wow. Octavia, yeah, sorry. Wow. Anyways, you love Marie on screen as Octavia, but you see a story like this, and you're really conflicted because, again, you love that character on screen, but this side of her that's off the screen is not, is not the same. It doesn't align with that. So, it's definitely a little tough to see, and my big question about all of this is this going to impact her role in the 100 season 6? Now, keep in mind, this does happen pretty frequently, I think, that they face up to a year less a day in jail, let's say, but the courts know that she's in a TV show, that she's pretty popular in terms of television for a lot of people. And so I think what happens typically is, or pretty frequently, is that they will let her kind of work on the show, and so that she doesn't have to go to jail. She'll either, serve nights. This happens to the NBA player Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. This last year, is essentially he was allowed to play basketball games, right, for his team, but then went to jail at night pretty much and slept over there and kind of served his time that way, because they knew he was, a popular and, predominant person and kind of celebrity in a way, and so they let him kind of do his job. But he still had to serve the time. So I'm thinking something may happen similar like that with Marie. Now, I'm not sure where they actually filmed the 100. And this is in LA. So could that, could that provide a problem as well for her in terms of filming, like where the set is and where she has to serve her jail time? And so there's a lot of stuff to unpack, like I said. And honestly, this is a great point of discussion. There's also a little point here about, should the 100 let Marie Avgeropoulos go after this? I mean, that's obviously a discussion to be had, I think, as well. So I don't know. I haven't heard a lot about this. I mean, it was very prominent when it first happened about 3 weeks ago. But since then, I haven't heard much. I saw this story, and I did want to talk about it, but I haven't seen a lot of news outlets and a lot of media sources talking about this and making a kind of a deal out of it. So I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how it impacts her. Again, I don't think that she'll actually serve, a year less a day in jail consecutively. I 364 straight days in jail. I don't think that'll happen just because she's, so big. And also it was in the original story, it was the boyfriend said, he didn't want to, call the police on her, whatever, I guess. And so, yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that going along with this. I saw when it first came out stories about her, how she wasn't sober when this happened, of course. So, there's a lot of stuff to go on here. But anyways, moral of the story is, I think, Marie's character on screen, very likable, right? But you see a story like this with her, and I think people's perception of her has now changed forever, I think, or at least for a while. And I think her kind of, position in television is definitely going to fade as a result of this. I think this is a big deal. And I think people aren't making it as big of a deal as it maybe is yet. So, again, we'll have to see the whole story. We don't even have the whole story right now because the case is still under investigation, of course. And how long this takes to actually go to court and her being sentenced, that's another thing to think about too. So I don't know. I'm not sure if they're filming season 6 right now or not. I'm guessing that they'll be starting soon if they aren't already. And so, yeah, we'll have to see how this affects her filming in season 6 because we know she's in it. We know she lived through season 5. So, something's got to give here. So anyways, guys, that'll just about do it for that news piece.